Hello, thank you so much for visiting my website. My name is Hannah Eve, and this website is about my Capstone Project here at Eastern Michigan University for my communication major. Now, my Capstone Project is also referred to as a service learning project, and the goal is to go out and find an organization and partner with them and try to satisfy a need that they have while also gaining experience in the field of your education. So I reached out to different women's centers or disaster relief organizations. Any nonprofit organization qualifies. I ended up partnering with the Magic program here on campus. A little bit about the Magic program: they work with students who have been through the foster care system to try to make sure that they have access to the resources and the skills that they need to live a successful life. So when I met with Lachey, the representative from the Magic program, she and I discussed something that may be helpful for the program would be a workshop that is a skill building workshop. One of the things that in my education here I have found is severely undervalued, is the significance of emotional intelligence. We often emphasize the importance of being able to be book smart and recall dates and know this and that and the other in the academic world, but we don't really talk about how important it is to have emotional intelligence and to be able to name your emotions, to experience your emotions, to cope with your emotions, to process them in a way that's healthy. So I really wanted to build a workshop that was centered around cultivating and reflecting on that emotional intelligence. Some of the key focuses of my workshop were the different ways that we cope. I feel like it's really important to acknowledge unhealthy coping mechanisms and then maybe switch those out for something that is more beneficial. And I think that journaling can definitely be a more beneficial coping mechanism. And I talk about the many different types of journaling that there are. There's narrative journaling, where you're almost telling a story. There are bullet journals, where it's just here's my to-do list, or here's a few words to talk about how I'm feeling. It's a little more to the point and concise. There's more illustrative journaling, which entails more pictures and drawings accommodated by different words. It's still a journal entry, but a little more on the creative side. I feel like because there are so many different personality types, it's important for people to have perspective and knowledge that there is several different types of journaling styles. So if one doesn't work for you, you can kind of pick up on another and check that out. Another key aspect we talked about in the workshop is this idea of making space and holding space. So before you take a bath, you might light some candles or put some salt in it, and you're making space for relaxation there, or before you do a project, you might clear the table and have all your pens and pencils over here and your project paper over here and the glue over here and maybe some music in the background to keep you going, and you're making space for that project to happen. So I applied that to this idea of when we need to make space for our own personal development and growth and our own awareness. So part of making that space is checking in with yourself at the end of the day and journaling about what happened, or keeping tabs on the things that are causing you to feel a certain way. So maybe school is making me really stressed here. What can I do to help cope with that, and then what can I do to alleviate that in the future? Or, wow, a lot of things are happening and I don't really feel very in control of that right now. So maybe I can sit down and write about the things that I know I'm in control of. So that was another focus, is just this holding space for things. When we want things, whether it's play, enjoyment, nourishment, relaxation, we have to make the space for them to happen. So journaling as a means of making space for the cultivating of emotional intelligence is definitely a key goal here. Another part that I thought is really essential is the vocabulary. We are our own self-advocates. So when I say I'm feeling this, sometimes it's hard to find the word for what you're feeling. So I really focused on kind of expanding that emotive word vocabulary, because I think it's important for us to be able to say, this is what I'm feeling and this is why I'm feeling it. And then once we start to identify those things, we can start to identify patterns as well. And then once we realize these patterns, we can look into the future and say, okay, what can I do next time this happens? And in doing this, and in being so reflective and understanding ourselves deeper, we're able to kind of predict and cope with things a little easier. So those are just some of my goals that I had for this project. I hope you really enjoy perusing the website and seeing the different templates that I recreated and checking out the sources. I really appreciate you stopping by. Take care.